Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there.
Hello there. Hello there.
Boom. Hello there, as Obi-Wan says in A New Hope and also episode 3. And hopefully he's going to say the classic hello again next week in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV series. Guys, I am so excited for this. I've been waiting since the announcement of Disney taking over from Lucasfilm and Lucasfilm being part of Disney. They said they were going to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi series set in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, which is an era that they've really been exploring, which is great because so much happens in between that time with the building of the Empire and Luke and Leia growing up and the start of and birth of the rebellion. So we've already had some great stories from that era, you know, of what happened after the Clone Wars and how it turned into a civil war and how the rebellion got built, you know, in great stories that we've seen in Rebels, which was incredible. And then we had Rogue One, which was the great standalone Star Wars film, the first one really to stand alone. There had been other Star Wars films before that, the Ewok films, the specials on TV, but the big time first Star Wars original story out of the saga of Skywalker was Rogue One, which was amazing and it was phenomenal, and I hope they do more like that. Solo was also great. Solo set again in that period as well, and again I want to see more of that story, and I hope that they are going to develop Solo into a TV show, which I think they're on about doing as well. But anyway, no, this was announced that they were going to do an Obi-Wan standalone film or an Obi-Wan series, and it finally got revealed 2 years ago that the Obi-Wan show was going to happen, and Ewan, after being in secret for years, finally got to announce it with Kathleen Kennedy that the series was happening. And so much has been spoken about that's going to be happening in this amazing one-off 6-part series, and I'm so excited. And here are things that I really hope we're going to get to see in this series. I'm so looking forward to that they could bring to this. It's going to be an extension of Revenge of the Sith. You know, Yoda kind of built it up as well, that there was more for Obi-Wan's story in between episode 3 and 4 on Tatooine at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Friend has learned the path to immortality. One who has returned from the netherworld of the Force, your old master.
Qui-Gon.
So there's a lot to be come into this series, and I hope we're going to get to see things that I really want to see in it, and I hope there's going to be some more surprises. So here's my that I hope to see in the series over the next coming weeks. Number 1. Okay, so I want to see how Luke learns that Obi-Wan is actually called Old Ben Kenobi, who lives out in the Dumb Sea. I want to know how that came about.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I wonder if he means Old Ben Kenobi.
I beg your pardon, sir, but do you know what he's talking about?
Well, I don't know anyone named Obi-Wan, but Old Ben lives out beyond the Dune Sea. He's kind of a strange old hermit.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
I think that there's a little thing there that Luke somehow either runs away or is on an adventure and gets lost in the Doom Sea, and he meets Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan introduces himself as Ben, and that's how Luke learns Ben's name instead of Obi-Wan's name, and how the name Ben gets introduced to the saga and the canon. As we know, then that is when Leia calls her son Ben Solo, who is Kylo Ren.
Ben!
In the later series, that's how that storyline can finally come together. It would be great to put it into the series and into the canon, and it'd be a nice way to learn how Luke knows Obi-Wan as Ben Kenobi instead of Obi-Wan Kenobi. There we go. Number 2, I really want to see, now there is a painting of this, and I forgot the artist's name who did this, but there is a painting of Anakin, Darth Vader, going to Padme's grave. And I really feel we should see that. Obi-Wan dreaming. I feel we should have maybe some flashbacks to Obi-Wan training Anakin, or some voiceovers of Anakin as a young one with Obi-Wan. Maybe a reflection of the voiceover of the first time they meet on the ship, when Qui-Gon introduces Obi-Wan to Anakin, and how happy Anakin is to meet another Jedi. And I just think it'd be great just to have some little flashbacks of voiceovers, not too much, nothing too over the top, but a few Obi-Wan Kenobi having dreams about maybe the battle on Mustafar, learning about Anakin turning to the dark side, or back in the day when they were brothers in the Clone Wars fighting together. I feel that would be great to see. Number 4. So Yoda sets it up in episode 3 about communicating with the spiritual world, the netherworld of the Force, ones who have returned from the Force after their death. And that is including Qui-Gon Jinn. I would so love to see Liam Neeson come back as Qui-Gon Jinn, and we have a scene between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon again, and we finally see Qui-Gon's ghost. That would be amazing. Ben visitors Luke in episode 5 and episode 6. It would be great to see Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan sat together, reminiscing and talking about Anakin and his turn to the dark side, and also Obi-Wan learning to communicate with the souls of the past and seeing if he communicates with anyone else. Maybe a Mace Windu, maybe a Shanti, a Kint Fisto maybe. There's so many Jedi that got killed in the Great Purge that he could communicate with. Which then comes to number 5. I so want to see a little bit of Yoda. Maybe a little bit of Yoda meditating on Dagobah, building his house on Dagobah, communicating with Obi-Wan or an older Jedi friend, or something completely different that will be a complete surprise to us. It would be great just to have a little bit of Yoda. Don't you agree? We did see him pop up in Rebels. Rebels? Rebels? Star Wars Rebels. Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. That's another TV show that we should do. Dave Filoni, get a great Obi-Wan Kenobi fight with the Inquisitor. We've got to see some lightsaber battles. It's what we love about Star Wars. It was one of the things I could not wait for at the end of the films. During the Star Wars film, I always knew it was building up to a great lightsaber battle. And Ewan is amazing. So we want to see him swinging those lightsaber skills on screen again, which is going to be great. And I hope it's with the Inquisitor. Surely that's got to be happening in one of the scenes. Wouldn't it be great to see a scene between Vader and the Emperor? There has been rumours, Ian McDermott, the legend, is returning as the Emperor again. Oh, amazing. What an actor, what a gentleman. I met him last year. He is such a gent and a great actor. So it would be great to see him in at least one episode, in one scene, where he's talking to Darth Vader, where he's maybe in training Darth Vader, because now Anakin is learning as Darth Vader from the Emperor instead of learning from Obi-Wan. It would be great to see the change, the shift, that now his new master is teaching him, and how Obi-Wan is abandoned and forgotten and on the run. It would be beautiful to see the Emperor training Darth Vader, or Darth Vader and the Emperor plotting to build the Empire and build the Death Star. Little things like that would be just incredible to see. I hope we really do, and I hope we do see something from Ian McDermott in this series, because it's his time. He's won. He's got his empire now. He's the Emperor. We need to see him building this empire and the results and consequences that has for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And just like the Emperor popping up in a few episodes, or guest appearing, or having a few lines, or the hologram being shown, it would also be great to see some cameos and some brief little interludes with other characters like Captain Antilles and C-3PO and R2-D2. Surely it's Star Wars. We've got to see a bit of C-3PO and R2-D2. Maybe an early kind of interaction between Chewbacca and the Empire. A few other characters. Maybe we might see a bit of Boba Fett, what he was doing in this time, and other characters from Rebels and how they built into this series, and maybe other Jedi that are on the run as well that we've seen throughout the series as well. Maybe even Ahsoka makes a little cameo. Ahsoka and Rex are doing their thing at this point in time as well. Also, it would be great if he interacted with Bail Organna again to keep that line of communication, so we know that there's a strong bond there. Maybe that's how a young Leia knows of Obi-Wan Kenobi, through Bail Organna and meeting him at some point. Maybe Leia meets Obi-Wan. Maybe he gets to meet, that would be a little nice little meeting there. And also a young Lando Calrissian may be able to pop up as well at some point, some way forth, which would just be amazing to see. Little characters, you know, just tying more little knots and threads together, because that's just the amazing thing about having these stories outside of the big Star Wars films, is them tying these little threads, giving these little extras of characters that we know and love, and as well as introducing new characters. And also, it would be great to see a little bit of the young Luke Skywalker. And I think it'd be great to see him with like his friends like Biggs growing up, and them, you know, getting introduced to what they used to do, how they became friends, and how they started off getting to space and spaceships, and how Anakin wants to become a great pilot and learning about pilots and pod racing. So obviously there's a great scene in the trailer where we see Luke dressed like Anakin, pretending that he's in a pod race, just like his father. And how much do Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru tell him about his father and his mother? So it's going to be very interesting to see a young Luke Skywalker growing up, making his friends. And was he a lot like his father as a young boy? It'd be great to see things like that happening throughout the series. So yeah. Anakin after Obi-Wan, that's what it would be great to see as well. As Darth Vader, him going after Obi-Wan, him still knowing that he's out there and that he didn't die. Now that he's learning how to use the suit, how he's getting capable with his powers, how Palpatine is training him, he wants to go after Kenobi. But the Emperor is trying to stop him and wants him to focus on his training. Whereas Anakin believes that he's still strong enough and he wants to take down Kenobi now. That the death of Padme is really getting to him, and we see the grief. We see him in his chamber with his mask off, and we get to see his feelings and how he's feeling of all this, how he's really turning into the dark Darth Vader that we know by the time we get to A New Hope, and he blasts through that door and there's just nothing of Anakin left. This is where we really get to see the last little bits of Anakin being stripped away, how the Emperor does that, how Anakin's feelings do that to himself, and how Obi-Wan can feel this pain. That would also be great to see, that Obi-Wan feels what Anakin is going through, as they are kind of kindred brothers, and you know, they have that tie-ship of, you know, a master and student. Obi-Wan can really feel what Anakin is going through, because there is the hint in Star Wars: The Clone Wars that Obi-Wan did know, and there's also the hint in Episode 3 that Obi-Wan knows Anakin is the father. He's figured it all out. So but I feel that as well, that the character has figured it out too late, and is that one of the regrets Obi-Wan has, that Obi-Wan knew Anakin had strong feelings for Padme, but he only worked out that they were together and that child was Anakin's too late. And it's also that why Obi-Wan is determined to watch over Luke as a repayment to his friend, to Anakin, to feel that Obi-Wan is to blame. Does Obi-Wan feel to blame? So I think looking at Anakin's emotions and Obi-Wan's emotions throughout what happened to their friendship, it's just going to be a great part of the series, which I really hope they look at. I don't hope they do it, you know, too over the top, but, you know, we really get to see what these characters are going through at this period of time now in these episodes, and what's happening to them emotionally and also physically. It would be great to see the change, the building of the Empire, how it's going to turn very dark, and how the stormtroopers have been turned from clone troopers, how they're not clones anymore, that was suggested from the Bad Bunch. Be great to see the Bad Bunch in there as well, maybe a little cameo from them and what their story's happening at this time in live action. Also, it would be great to kind of see that transition from the Republic into the Empire more, and how it came about and how certain systems are signing up, how the rebellion starts, and how Obi-Wan is trying to stop this and build and be part of building the rebellion, but also trying to keep out of sight and on the run. It would just be great to see Palpatine building the Empire and introducing his rules and his demands, and now he's got power, what he's going to do with that power. That would be great to see. It would be great to see the Darth Maul story in live action. So we get to redo that scene in Star Wars Rebels where Obi-Wan takes on Darth Maul again and Darth Maul finally has his end. It would be great to kind of see that Obi-Wan's onto Darth Maul during his time as he's looking for Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan hiding from Maul, and then eventually Maul finding him, and they had the little battle that they did in the series. It would be great to see it in live action. I don't think they'll do that because they already did a great job in the TV show at the end of season 3 of Rebels, which was just amazing. So I don't think they'd redo it or remake it, but they did little things from. They did remake little moments of Revenge of the Sith in the Clone Wars, so they might do that vice versa and make little moments in Obi-Wan from Rebels into live action, which again was great at the end of how the Clone Wars tied into episode 3 and you just had them crossing over slightly. That was amazing. And this is going to be great how this is going to pick up from the end of episode 3. So those are just some of my thoughts and opinions of what I would like to see in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that I'm so excited about. And maybe some of them will happen, maybe a lot of them won't. But that hey-ho, I'm still looking forward to this. I loved the Boba Fett series, loved The Mandalorian. I've loved every series that they've done of Star Wars. I've not been disappointed with anything that they've done. I just feel that it's getting better and better. And this team of people, of Star Wars creators, is now growing. It started off with George Lucas, and he's built this, he's built all these ideas, but now we have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni at the helm, leading all this and leading all these bold, rich ideas, and Kathleen Kennedy bringing them all together to tell these stories still, to say that, you know what, Star Wars isn't over, it never will be. There's so many stories to tell of this, and tie things together and keep adding and bringing more and keep the characters and the stories alive in many different ways and formats, which is just amazing. And it's why I love the Disney Plus, is how we can do this as well, that, you know, these Star Wars can live on as TV, and hopefully one day we'll have more films as well. So yeah, so looking forward to it. Hope everyone enjoys it. Let me know what you think of my ideas and my thoughts, and I cannot wait. I will do a episode vlog next week where I've watched the first 2 episodes, which are on the 27th, which I cannot wait. So make sure you watch it, tune in. Disney Plus all the way, Lucasfilm, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV show is happening, starring Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Incredible, I can't believe it's happening. This has just been, I wanted this since leaving the cinema after episode 3 in 2005, and now the story continues. So, may the Force be with you, happy days, take care.